Hi, welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with all the players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to the Arsenal. And the rumours that we're going to start off with today is one about Mathieu Flamini, that Flamini is on his way out of Arsenal. We're being told that by Turkish media outlet Medya Haber that Flamini is going to be moving to Galatasaray. He'll be able to link up there with Lucas Podolski, who's also, of course, moved from Arsenal to Galatasaray. But yeah, we're being told that the 31-year-old defensive midfielder is on his way to Galatasaray. No details on what the deal will be, what sort of transfer amount it will be, etc. But he signed, I think it was a one-year extension last season. And you know what? In a way, it's going to be sad to see him go because he has made a contribution. But I think the time is right for Flamini to be moved on. I must say I was a bit disappointed yesterday, and I tweeted out I was a bit disappointed. I saw a lot of different forums and that saying, you know, Arsenal fans celebrate as Flamini shown the exit. Listen, the guy came in and he'd done a job for us, especially the first season when he came in. Remember, he was just training with Arsenal to get fit. And, you know, Arsene Wenger looked at him and said, yeah, you're looking decent. He came in. I remember all the fans hailing him. Oh, Flamini should start. He should start in the team in front of Arteta. Now, all of a sudden, due to the success of Coquelin, got some fans dissing him. Yeah, get rid of him. Yeah, blah, blah. You know, really disrespected him. And I don't like that. You know, he's been all right, we all know what happened the first time he was at the club, the way he kind of left. But I think since he's come back, he's been a good servant to Arsenal. He's done his best. Listen, it's not what we need, Flamini, now. We need somebody like a Coquelin who's much more dynamic in that position. But nobody can say that Flamini playing for Arsenal did not give 100%, did not give his best. So I think he deserves a bit more respect than he's getting from some Arsenal fans, but he's going to be on his way out. So Flamini looks like he could be heading to Galatasaray. Now, if he goes to Galatasaray, are we going to get in another defensive midfielder? Because then that just leaves us with, of course, Coquelin and Arteta. Now, is Arsene Wenger looking at it, saying to himself, I need another upgrade on Arteta, or is he thinking to himself, Arteta and Coquelin will be enough? There are rumours today that he may go back in for Lars Bender. Bender, of course, who plays for Bayer Leverkusen. The interest has been around for ages, not just this season, for the past couple of seasons. Will he go back in? I really don't know. We've seen so many different defensive midfielder targets join other clubs. Wenger's not really moved in for them. I don't know if he's going to move for Lars Bender. It's starting to look to me that he may be settling with what he's got in that position. He may be saying to himself, right, I've got Coquelin. Coquelin's definitely Arsene Wenger's #1 for next season. And I've got Mikkel Arteta. Mikkel Arteta is the captain of the club, remember, who can come in and get himself back to really good fitness and provide experience. I don't need nobody else. Of course, there's Christian Bielik there as well, the up-and-coming kid who is also a defensive midfielder, or he may be able to switch Jack Wilshere to play in that position. I think we're playing a bit of a risky game here. I'd still go out there and buy an established defensive midfielder like a Lars Bender to put in that position, but we're going to have to wait and see what happens on that. Interesting also today about Wojciech Szczesny. We're being told that Ajax have made inquiries to Arsenal about the availability of Wojciech Szczesny, because their goalkeeper, Jasper Cillessen, he's being looked at heavily at the moment by Manchester United. Now, it all depends on a lot of things, of course. If De Gea leaves Manchester United and goes to Real Madrid, which, depending on what rumours you read, some rumours say he's going to see out the last year of his contract, then walk away on a free next year. Others are saying that Real Madrid are going to come in and do a deal. If they did do that, it might mean that Manchester United go in for Cillessen. Of course, Cillessen was in goal for Holland and has worked with Van Gaal before. And that then, in turn, may trigger Szczesny going to Ajax. Ajax very interested. I'm not sure if they're interested in him on loan or whether if they want to buy him on a permanent deal, but there's definitely interest from Ajax. I suppose they're just covering themselves by making inquiries at the moment. No guarantees that Szczesny would go. And if Szczesny did go, surely that would mean that Ospina would have to stay in as number 2 to Petr Cech. But we're going to have to wait and see what happens with that one as well, as with a lot of these deals at the moment. Of course, there's been lots of interest over the past couple of weeks about Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang from Borussia Dortmund. His head's chopped off there. Probably because Dortmund are saying that Aubameyang will not be sold. Their director of football came out yesterday and said they put a block on the move, and I quote, he said he's simply not for sale. So Aubameyang looks like he may be saying, we've heard that Arsenal have put in bids. They put in the first bid of £28.7 million, we were told, and we're ready to go in with more bids. But director at Dortmund, they're saying that he's definitely staying. He's not going anywhere. You don't know what to think with these things, do you? I mean, money talks at the end of the day with a lot of these deals. Money most certainly talks, but looks like he's going to be staying. And another striker that looks like he's going to be staying is Alexander Lacazette. Now, Lacazette, again, been linked heavily with a move to Arsenal. We've been told that Arsenal have been looking at, preparing bids, etc. Lacazette came out yesterday, and these are his quotes. He said, I want to show those who think that I've got my head elsewhere that I'm still here. And he sort of went on to say that he's got no intentions of leaving Lyon this season. Of course, Arsenal been very interested in. Liverpool were interested in. Very interesting, I suppose, that Liverpool now have turned their attentions away and are going for Benteke. Maybe they knew that already, that he's not leaving. It's from the horse's mouth. The guy saying that he doesn't want to leave. It's one of the things I've spoken about with this Lacazette thing right from the beginning. The fact that playing at Lyon this season, he'll be the main man. He'll be the number 1. He'll be playing in the Champions League. And every one of those French players this season wants to stake their claim for that striker's position in the Euros, which are going to be held in their home country, in France. You've got Giroud wants to play in that. Obviously, Lacazette wants to play in that. Benzema wants to play in that. If they have great seasons, they stake their claim that, well, they be in the squad and they stake their claim to start. Lacazette's the least established out of those 3. If he comes and plays second fiddle to, say, Giroud, that might hurt his chances. So he might be thinking to himself, stay another year, play for Lyon, do really well. I'll get my move if I do well. It's a risky game because if he does badly, all of a sudden he falls off of the radar of every single club. But he certainly looks like he might be staying. Might be able to get ourselves a little look at him this week, as well as they're going to be playing against Arsenal, of course, in the Emirates Cup Lyon. So it'll be very interesting to see what Lacazette does in that. Karim Benzema, the other striker target that Arsenal have seemed to be homing in on. We're being told today that, circumstances seem to be moving that he could possibly be on his way out. Real Madrid apparently interested in buying Fernando Llorente, who, of course, he's played for Atletico Bilbao, now plays for Juventus. Hasn't had a great time there. Juventus have bought Dybala, they've bought Mandzukic. So Llorente looking for another club. Real Madrid interested. Some people saying that, listen, if Real Madrid buy Llorente, that again may see Benzema going out. I can't see Llorente as being the number 1 striker there. Probably he'd be back up to Benzema if Benzema stayed. I'm also was told over the weekend that in their friendly that Real Madrid played, Benzema was on the bench and they played Cristiano Ronaldo in the centre forward position. Read into that what you may. Listen, it's friendlies. Not everybody starts. People play in different positions, etc. So you can't really, judge it off of that. But Benzema again being linked with Arsenal. We're running out of striker targets. Aubameyang not going nowhere. You know, Lacazette not going anywhere. You know, who's out there as a striker? Benzema's going to be very, very difficult to get done. Other top strikers out there. Cavani, I heard today saying that he's not going anywhere. So to get a real world-class striker out there is really, really difficult at the moment. On the good news front, Theo Walcott, he's been in the press today. He said that his deal hasn't been done. These guys, you know what? I really love to get me mugged off, because I did actually announce a couple of weeks ago that it's a done deal, and it is a done deal. This deal is going to get done. My contact, who's got quite a few things right, I must admit, and that's why when he gave this one to me, I did announce this one. He said to me, he goes, Robbie, take it from me. Deal's done. Theo Walcott, 100% going to be signing for Arsenal. He's not going anywhere. Both sides have agreed in principle. It's just a matter of them signing up. They haven't signed up yet, but Theo Walcott came out and said yesterday that the deal's going to be done very soon. We're being told that it's probably going to be about £100,000 a week, which is very nice. He's on about 90 grand at the moment. There's no way at the moment, when you see the lack of strikers that are out there to purchase, that Arsene Wenger is going to let Theo Walcott go. Plus as well, Theo Walcott, you know, you saw him the other day in that game. He looked lethal in the final. He's getting back to his best. If this guy can stay injury-free, is, say, Aubameyang, Lacazette, are they better than Theo Walcott? You know, if he's injury-free for a season, are those two better than Theo Walcott? That is the question. They're probably not. And Theo Walcott is more experienced than both of them. He's plays it internationally. He played in the Champions League and done well. It's just injuries that always seems to mess up this guy's career. When he's fit and he's flying, he is a very, very good player who could really go on to be world-class, but he's got to stay fit. But good news there that Theo Walcott will be, you know, he's very relaxed about it. The club are very relaxed about it. They've got this deal in principle. It's just a matter of them just agreeing the terms and them signing. And Theo Walcott will be signed on again for Arsenal. Mind you, as I keep reminding, the situation with Fabian Delph the other day has just given me no faith in anything anymore after seeing that. Right, listen, let's get into what your guys' comments. Nabil, I asked yesterday about Goetze if we should move for him. Nabil says, I think Goetze can play as a false number 9. Just in front of Ozil. He's a skilled player with good finishing ability, but it's never going to happen, he says. Thierry Henry, the legend, says, listen, just because we get Benzema doesn't mean that we're going to win the league. What happens when Koscielny and Coquelin gets injured? We have to buy players that can replace them. He's talking like we got Benzema already. I wish we you know, I hope he's right. But that deal's far off at the moment. As I said all along, if that deal does happen, that'll be difficult to pull off. So, you know, we're going to have to wait and see with that. Clayton Chai says, the only problem I see with Lacazette is his experience at a high level. He's almost in the same position as Giroud was in before he was transferred to Arsenal. He said, although Giroud wasn't as young as Lacazette, he was still the top goal scorer in France. He was seen as a very good player, but it just hasn't turned out how we thought it would have been. He also doesn't have much experience against top-level teams, aside from, say, playing PSG in France. It is key to buy players who can do the job in big games, because that is where most of our losses come from. I think we should buy a player like Benzema just for the fact that he has more experience in the Champions League, as well as playing against the big clubs in La Liga. Very, very good points made by him. That is a great point he makes about Giroud, and that he came over here with a similar reputation, was the top scorer in France. His team Montpellier just won the league as well in France. And you know what? If Giroud hadn't have got those injuries last season, he would have got over 20 goals for the season. And that is a great record for a striker. Even with being out for about nearly 4 months with a broken leg, he came back and he scored, was it 15 goals for the season, which is, missing nearly 4 months. If he'd have had those 4 months, he would have probably definitely got over the 20. So listen, let's see what happens. Even Giroud the other day saying that he doesn't mind another striker coming in. I think Arsenal definitely looking at strikers. It's who is out there to get. Hugh Mariza says we don't need Goetze or any other midfielder. We need Benzema or Aubameyang, then a centre-back like Varane. Well, we're getting very greedy there. I don't think we're going to buy any centre-backs at the moment. Let's just get a couple more. Kunal says, why not sign Robert Lewandowski? His agent said that Bayern priced him at 35 million. Isn't that a good deal? He's skillful and his technique is sublime, just what we need. He'd be perfect for Arsenal. But again, I just cannot see any way in which Bayern Munich are going to sell. You know, it's just not going to sell a player of that, you know, of that stature. And last one here, this is Cesar Cortez 77. He said, no, Dzeko is not the answer. He's not good anyway. And that's talking about Edin Dzeko, of course, who was linked with a move to Arsenal yesterday. You guys are not feeling it. I can tell by the comments yesterday. You're not feeling Dzeko. We need a striker, but who's it going to be? It's really... striker targets disappearing at the moment. It's really, really hard to see who we're going to get. But it's going to board down. I can see it already. September the 1st. We're still going to be very active in the transfer market. Thanks for watching the show today. We'll be back around about the same time tomorrow.